Yo, welcome back to Warehouse Reacts, where today we are listening to tracks 8, 9, and 10, I believe, of Avenged Sevenfold's Life Has Been a Dream album. They are entitled in respective orders of 8, 9, and 10. G, O in brackets, ordinary, and then D in brackets of the word death. So I presume that these are, as I've said in the previous reactions, maybe a bit of like a three-piece suite kind of thing, simply because they spell out God, and they're all quite short, and they're all back-to-back. So if they're not, then forgive me, but I'm going to listen to all three of them in a burst anyway, because they only total about 8 minutes, which is about the length of Cosmic on its own. So we'll give them a go. Like I say, I have no idea what to expect. I can't really remember. As I say, I have listened to this album before once, 3 years ago. I can't remember really anything. As is shown so far from my album reactions, I don't really know where anything's going. But I don't know if this is going to be a burst of energy. I don't know if this is going to be a slow wind down. I don't know if it's going to be both. I guess we'll see. But here we go. Here's the first track, G, which we'll play right at the end of Easier. We'll go and bring the lyrics up and listen to. Oingo boingo. Stop. Hello, Dream Theater. Welcome to any Dream Theater song. Okay. That is so Dream Theater. Bit more normal. Another guitar filled with attitude. Put your hands together, get down on your knees. Oh, climb the hill and just don't talk. I never made a man, didn't trip when he walked the walk. It's so chic, and we love what you've done with the place. Compliment you. Can't tell me that all I see. Oh, it's this one. Okay. Okay, quick pause. What can you say? Dream Theater to start, like it sounded exactly like something Dream Theater would do. Initial verse full of kind of attitude. Vocals sound good. Drums sound good. The "It's so chic and we love what you've done with the place. Compliment you with the style and grace" is was sung by a female voice, and I'm not sure. I know they've used. I think they've used. Is it Matt's wife or Sin's wife or something? I know they're sisters, aren't they? Or twins. Maybe that's one of their voices, or maybe they've just got a professional singer in to come and do it. I don't know if they are professional singers. They're sisters, but a female voice at least anyway, which is I think the first time we've really heard a different voice on the album, other than, like I say, I think Sin in Beautiful Morning. But when I said it's this one, me and my housemate, or my housemate and I should say, when we listened to this album together, as I say, 3 years ago. We just just let it play on the background in, when we were in Discord, just playing like CSGO or Minecraft or something, modded Minecraft. And we just like zoned out because it sounded so weird and different. And then I just remember us both like laughing at this bit because it was so kind of... We both like... I remember like we do that to each other for like a good like few months afterwards. We just kind of like say something in that kind of vocal melody and just something stupid, and we just say it in that melody. But that kind of instantly hit me. I was like, wow, okay, it's this song. I don't recognize anything other than that single part from this song. But yeah, enjoyable so far. Like I say, another burst of energy at least. We'll go back slightly and keep playing. Just before the funny bits. I suppose it's not really funny, but it's funny to me. And that weird vocal thing. Are we going?
You gotta be kidding me.
Go. Back to Petrucci and Portnoy. And Jordan Rudess.
Cheap imitations by obsessive fans, but you're great and fun to watch. On the 7th day I thought about world peace, but I decided just to take it off.
I see. It is about God. Very tongue-in-cheek. I guess Jesus Christ being the kind of operative words in there. That's so weird. Very delete.
Not too bad for a first try. When robot.
Okay, when robot. Like what? Like that's such a memey thing to say. I will just quickly pause it and go back and play, sort of the end through into this ordinary thing, which again sounds like the intro at least sounds like that kind of weird synth sequencer thing. Yeah, very kind of poking fun at, I don't know if Christianity directly, but certainly the kind of idea that God, made the world in 7 days, and it's kind of just, it's a mess, isn't it? We've made it a mess. If you believe in that sort of thing, then we definitely have made it a mess, and then just deleting it at the end through I don't know, nuclear means or something. I'm sure that's the kind of symbolism, but the delete kind of button, as it were, the big red button. Very appropriate, let's say, in these times with the amount of wars and stuff going on. But obviously, like I say, this is kind of spoken from the perspective of the kind of after vocals at the end there sounded like they were from the perspective of God or of a god, and then the kind of chorus vocals sounded like they were, a typical sort of churchgoer, perhaps. Can't miss my weekly date, I think was one of the lyrics. Got to save someone. Very like I say, poking fun at kind of people who go to church and that sort of thing. I mean, cool song, fun song, very as I said, oingo boingo, kind of bouncy all over the place. But yeah, we'll go to the very end of it and just let it run through into ordinary. Here is in brackets rdinary. Didn't transition as well as I wanted it to. That. Thanks, YouTube Music. So funky. Auto-tuned again. Very vocals sound very Kanye to me. Very Kanye. So groovy. Synth's kind of doing its own thing now. Both synths, both the lead and the rhythm part. Dream Theater's here again. Have to pause it at some point. I'm going to pause it now. I'm going to pause it just before the vocals come in. I mean, what do you even say? The whole kind of funky, groovy, vocoded and also auto-tuned kind of vibe to the whole song. Cool. Again, quite cool. Synthesizer, as I say, the sequencer kind of effect coming back, driving the song was quite cool. Obviously, a kind of bridging track between the two, between G and Death. But the kind of, I think the build that just before this song was the same as the one in the, which song is it? I can't remember which song it is of the first three, but more speed, more power, more, that kind of section. It was exactly the same as that. I think it's Game Over? It's one or the other. No, it's We Love You, isn't it? I can't remember, but it was the same sound at least anyway. And then just into this kind of very lush, rich kind of, I don't know, just a very nice sound. But we'll go straight into it, and we'll see what this has in store for us. Like an old school, like just before that comes in. Tonight the World Dies. The Leaving on the Fireplace sounded like Tonight the World Dies is kind of...
I know that we can't hide our shame and leave it on the fireplace.
I mean, it's a song called Death, so I guess maybe... I don't know if that's an intentional kind of callback, but at least that's exactly where, my kind of mind went to immediately, is that I've heard that melody before, and then I spent the time kind of thinking where it was from. But it's from Tonight the World Dies, which I guess is an appropriate song to call back to for a track like this. It's very kind of winding down. It's kind of like the end of a 50s or 60s kind of Hollywood movie, kind of very Americana. I don't know, it's got a very classy kind of feel to it, like an old school classy kind of feel to it. Yeah, that's what I've picked up on so far.
Back in its place and tucked away. Write a note of a few things I want to say and leave it on the fireplace.
Yeah, it's so similar to the Tonight the World Dies part.
In my dreams, another in my dreams, I stare out in the distance of the city scene. From way
Oh yeah, this is a film. This is a Hollywood, old school Hollywood film soundtrack.
as I make myself more comfortable with the edge, I leap into the darkest night.
There's that again.
Wind on my face, it satisfies. I never have felt so alive, and in my dreams I'm blind.
Key change. Ooh. Something has gone wrong. It sounds like the planets. Not Avenged. Okay, and lyrics not available for this last track, Life Is But a Dream, which I presume is the instrumental kind of outro to the album, which we'll listen to next time, as annoying as that is, I'm sure. I'm gonna save that for its own video, of course, because this one's going to be a fairly long one with all three songs kind of combined. As I say, the kind of outro sounded, when I say planets, I don't mean planets from Hail to the King, I mean planets as in Gustav Holst, I think it's Holst, Gustav Holst. The planet's kind of sweet, I guess you'd call it. Very space, kind of, big brass and kind of just that feeling. Do you know what I mean? That kind of feeling. But something went wrong at the very end. Obviously, death. The protagonist in this story died. He was saying that, getting closer to the edge, coming to terms with it, that sort of thing. And like I said, it sounded like the end of a kind of Hollywood, 50s or 60s Hollywood kind of Americana, very black and white tragedy, kind of ending, but also dripping in kind of this rich, classy kind of atmosphere. And I think that obviously leads then into Life Is But a Dream at the end of the album, which I presume, like I say, is just the kind of instrumental outro. maybe tells its own story. Definitely tells its own story. But yeah, I mean, that kind of three-piece suite, G-O-D, cool. G was certainly a kind of throwback to the start of the album in terms of its kind of wackiness. Like I said, I was mentioning Dream Theater a lot. Obviously, Dream Theater don't have a kind of patent on that kind of sound, but that's where my mind goes to immediately when it's that kind of sound. But I'm sure they pull it from stuff like, Mr. Bungle. Obviously, they worked with Mike Portnoy, didn't they, after the Rev passed away. So maybe there's a bit of Dream Theater influence there. I know he worked on Nightmare and was, touring with them live for a few years after he left Dream Theater. But like I said, very, very eclectic sound through all three there. I think Death, I think naturally my favorite would go to G there. And Ordinary was kind of, like I say, a very weird bridging track. But I think my mind naturally would go to G being my favorite. But I think D, Death, will turn into my favorite just because, like I said, it really, really invokes this kind of visual. Like I had a very visual, a very real kind of image in my mind there of what the kind of atmosphere was, of this character, of this protagonist in this song. Anyway, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed. This is going to be a bit of a long one, and but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed anyway. And I think I'm kind of sad that this album's coming to an end because I was, very much enjoying it. But we'll give Life Is But a Dream a listen to next time. So join me for that. But that was G, O, and D, or G, Ordinary, and Death. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.